when I go on to look you up and research you, and I see your titles and so on and so forth, I see author, dad.
Yeah.
I see motivational speaking.
Yes, sir.
But what led to that point? I mean, is that your main? Is that what you would consider? Are these jobs titles what you consider yourself now at this point? And what led you to that? Because someone watching this, seeing all these tattoos on your face and your body, that's probably not the first thing they think of.
Right. And the craziest thing, man, actually was a lot more wilder when I didn't have the tattoos. Like when I put up my Throwback Thursday pictures, like people always go, "Oh, that was a sweet you," and I'm like, "Nah, I was real crazy back then." But man, it was a series of events. But when I lost that job at the sheriff's office, that's what really initially got me off into entrepreneurship. I realized then, man, just as a people, how solely reliant we are on strangers for opportunities. They had when they snatched back that opportunity, man, they rocked my livelihood. And people don't recognize these things a lot of times till it's too late. Very, very, very minuscule things like bottles of water, socks, grains of rice. We're solely relying on the strangers to understand our plight and to hit us off with rations to then give our babies and our families. So that was number one for me, man. Nepotism hit me right in the chest because I saw so many people at that sheriff's office that did the same things I did, but they didn't get the same outcome based on who they knew or what their last name was, things of that nature. Trayvon Martin, I'm a Florida boy. That was a defining moment again. And Mike Brown as well, man. But those were three of the biggest moments when I said, one, I want to be independent. I so hate authority. And two, especially when I saw the Trayvon case and the knowledge that I had gained from working with the sheriff's office, I just like, man, I have to absolutely make it my business to double back and share as much information I can with the people everywhere. Not just black people, white people, Spanish, Asian, because I don't believe oppression has picks. I think it hits any race. It don't matter. If it wants you, it's gonna hit you right in the chest. But man, I just made a sole decision at that point that I had to double back, man, and try to enlighten and empower as many people as possible. And what really, each tattoo, especially with the face, they all represent, a couple of things. They either represent inspiration, motivation, or, something I was going through in my life, a moment in my life. And one of the biggest things that really put me on that path is when I left the sheriff's office, I started a business. And like most people, the people closest to you, they're going to knock you, they're going to laugh, they're going to tell you it's not going to work. So I went from making $36,000 a year to making screen print T-shirts and hustling them, telling people this is how I was going to make my living. So, man, my family was on a campaign, sweating me every day. Get a job, you got babies. And like I said, man, my pops is heavy in law enforcement, so he made a few calls and he like, you can either go get your job back or you can go dispatch somewhere else. I took care of it, and I remember sitting on the phone with him and I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I ain't going back. He was like, what? We come from a blue collar setting. All we know is work, retire, then die. He like, so what you gonna do? I'm like, well, I'm gonna start a clothing line and, I'm gonna make screen print T-shirts and I'm gonna sell Jordans because I know somebody who works at Foot Action in my city. And man, I'm laughing now because he almost laughed me off the phone. Like he bust out laughing. It was like, you gonna do what? He's like, you got 2 kids, right? You got 2 cars, a house, and I had all these things that I acquired with that sheriff's office salary. But man, the first one was this one over here. It's very similar to an A. It's an ancient symbol of strength. And I remember going to the tattoo shop and I was dealing with 3 issues at that time. To this day, I have a real issue with procrastination, hence why I talk about it so well when I do my motivational speeches. I needed to kill the go get a job campaign. And I needed something that would force me to perform at a high level. And again, like I had no felonies and I had a great record and I had somebody in an even greater position that can get me employment pretty much anywhere in my city. So, I just asked myself one day, what can I do to 86 all these problems I got, those 3 issues. And I said, I'm gonna tattoo my face. Essentially what it did, it put me in a win or bust mode. Cause I mean, at this point I got 29 facial tattoos. I cannot, I can't go stock groceries at Walmart. I can't work a register at McDonald's based off my appearance. And secondly, it pretty much, it was a firm reminder for everybody that doubted me or that was laughing at me like, I'm dead ass serious. I'm not going to stop, and this is going to happen. I remember I got out the tattoo chair that day. I sent my pops a picture, And I just never looked back, man. I took my last $363 and got a trademark. And, man, I've been running ever since.
So what age were you when you got these face tattoos?
Well, how old was I? I was 20, I want to say 21, right around 22. 21, 22, somewhere up in there.
Now, you had tattoos. I mean, if we look at you right now, and they can't see your whole body on camera, but you have tattoos on your legs, your arms.
Yeah, my legs, my feet, no thighs. I stop at the knee, but feet, knees, shins, back, side, chest, neck, fingers.
So you were already tattooed in other areas but the face at 21?
Yeah, none were visual. If I wore like a short sleeve shirt, you wouldn't see it. So hitting the face was really like a eye opener for everybody. Like, damn, he lost his mind.
So you hit the face first and then hit the visible parts of your other body?
Yeah, man. At one time I had like 5 or 6 tattoos in my face and hadn't touched my arms yet.
Now, you're at 29 tattoos on your face at this point?
Yeah, 29.
Any of them recent times, or are these done earlier in your life?
I actually just got some recently. I found some space. It was hard. I caught hell finding it, but I just got these 2 over here. I have a daughter that was born August 8th, and then I have another daughter that's on the way September 17th. So I tattooed both of their names right here on my cheek.
Now, you have 29 tattoos on your face. What's the most meaningful one? Is it that first one you were talking about, or is there a different one that you...
No, I wouldn't say it was the first one. I would say the most meaningful one will be the light bulb. Actually, it's my biggest one, my favorite one. And pretty much for me, what the light bulb represents is 2 things that I feel like we have to get back to. Very simple. If you kept up with cartoons as a child, you know anytime the cartoon character had that light bulb pop on, that means some great idea had came about. One thing I feel like we definitely need to do, we need to get back to, is thinking. Very simple, but a lot of people are not thinking. I do believe that, you know the saying, ignorance is truly bliss. It's a lot of us that are just simply in la-la-la mode. We don't question anything. We go with the flow. We get up, we do the same thing 5 days a week, same thing on the 2 days, and then, you know, we just continuously repeat the cycle. So what the light bulb represented for me was the notion of thinking. And number 2 is a conversation piece. Man, I wouldn't lie to you, I've had at least probably 120 conversations about that tattoo. And it's exactly what I wanted. I wanted people to look at it, and it's going to make the light bulb go off in their head, and they're going to ask me, why in the hell would you get a light bulb? And then I get these next 2 to 5 minutes to enlighten them and try to bring them on a whole new horizon. Because like I said, a lot of us are simply not thinking. We don't question anything. We're just going with the flow.
Now, what about as far as discrimination and racial profiling with your face tattoos? Have you experienced that?
Oh, absolutely, man. I remember last October, coming from Miami, I get pulled over, and I have a Mercedes. When I first got some money, like a lot of us do, unfortunately, I ran out and bought my Benz, trying to be like my pops. But I got stopped in Alligator Alley. Came to the car. And he just simply said, I don't care if you have weapons. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for kilos. I'm looking for green cards. And I can't remember the other thing he said to me. And I remember laughing. I'm like, man, I don't got none of that. And he was like, come on, man, you ain't got to lie to me. Just, if you be real with me, things will go a lot smoother. And I'm like, nah, man, I do have a couple guns. I'm licensed to carry though, but that's about it. And man, he really just reiterated that. And then we actually got out of the car and he's like, so what do you do looking like that? And I was like, well, actually, I'm an author. I just released a book. And I started running down the things I did, but that wasn't good enough. He called like 3 other cars. Actually, man, they turned my car inside out, found nothing, and they let me go about my business. But immediately he asked that, he was like, man, you got these facial tattoos, you're in a foreign car. I know you're doing something. I was like, yeah, I'm hustling, trying to change the world at the same time. That's about it.
You could have been a tattoo artist, too, and been one of the most popular tattoo artists in America.
Definitely.
Now, if you could do it all over again, would you get your face tattooed?
Absolutely. Only thing I would change, I would position them different. I wouldn't change not one tattoo. I just would position them different because I still want to get some now, but I'm pretty much filled up. You can't say now that I don't have my hair cut, but I got the side of my head tattooed as well. After this side, then I'm officially out of space for the head and the face.
And you have the eyebrows?
Yeah, that was the absolute worst tattoo I ever got. I would still get it, but I'm not going to lie, man. I was going to quit on that one, But he had one eyelid done. I would have looked crazy with one eyelid tattooed and then one just regular, so I had to deal with it. But that was the worst one I ever got.
I've seen people get like tattoos on the inside of their lip.
Yeah, I got that too.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, okay.